Hi there, I'm William Earnhardt, a Bible worker in the Florida area with another Christmas season devotional for you. And this comes from Mark chapter 10. I'm going to begin with verse 42. This comes right after James and John's mother asked Jesus if they can be the one sitting right next to him in his kingdom. And of course, this aroused the indignation of the other disciples as they felt like James and John were promoting themselves. But really, they might have just wanted to be close to Jesus because they loved him. That's something I think we need to be careful of when we think people in the church are promoting themselves. Sometimes their motives may not be self-promotion. Maybe they just love Jesus and want to be in a position where they can be as close to him as possible. But this did arouse the indignation of the other disciples. And so Jesus called them together. And he tells them here, beginning with verse 42. It says, Jesus called them together and said, "You know that the rulers of this world lord it over their people, and officials flaunt their authority over those under them." Verse 43, but among you it will be different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first among you must be the slave of everyone else. And then verse 45 here, I think, are some of the most beautiful words in the Bible. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others and to give his life as a ransom for many. In verse 42, Jesus is talking about how in the world, rulers flaunt their authority over other people. And this is what Joseph, the son of Jacob, was doing years earlier when he was telling his brothers about his dreams, that they would be bowing down to him and everything. And that aroused their indignation as well. But to make a long story short, as we read the story of Joseph, by the time he finally came to the throne and was a leader, and his brothers did bow down to him, Joseph had some work on his character between having those dreams and actually being able to sit on the throne. In Genesis 45, Joseph tells his brothers not to be angry with themselves for selling him as a slave into Egypt. He says, "For God brought me here to preserve life." Now Joseph finally realized what his dream was all about. His dream wasn't about people bowing down to him. His dream was about him giving his life in service for others to save their lives. Jesus came not to be served, but to serve others and to give his life as a ransom for others. Think about the fact that he allowed himself to be born in a manger. He had 4,000 years to make hotel reservations, and he never did it. He was totally empty of self, totally willing to be born in a manger instead of a nice hotel. I remember several years ago when I was on a mission trip to Peru. Our plane was supposed to leave Lima, and we were at the airport. We were on the airplane, actually. It was about midnight when the flight got canceled until later the next morning. Actually, it finally took off early the next afternoon. But I remember, I remember several of us getting off that airplane and having nowhere to lay our heads, for that night. We were just all stranded there at the airport. And I remember lying there on the floor asking God why I didn't have a bed that night. And I felt the Holy Spirit tell me, William, that's the wrong question. The right question is, what did you ever do that made you deserve a bed all the nights before? Because the fact of the matter is, there are people who have been homeless who are a lot more deserving of a bed than I am. And so I realized that night, sleeping on a hotel floor without a bed, that instead of seeing that as a curse, I should recognize all the other nights I get to sleep in a bed as a blessing. Because people a lot more deserving than I am have had to sleep a lot more nights without a bed than I have. Jesus was a lot more deserving than I was, but he was born in a manger, totally empty of self, realizing he came into this world not to be served, but to serve others and to give his life as a ransom for many. Friend, he gave his life to ransom you. I would love to talk with you more about that, even study with you if you would like. You can reach me at racer3@gmail.com. You spell out the 3, so that's RACERTHREE @gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. God bless you. I hope you're having a very blessed Christmas season.